Good morning. My name is Linda Angio. On behalf of the co-pastors and our board of trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Marty Hadaway will light 3 lights, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Marty. Please rise for our opening prayer and remain standing for our first hymn. Mother, Father, God, infinite intelligence, we ask that you bless this gathering with love and light, and bless us with your all-loving presence throughout the days to come. Amen. Our first hymn will be led by Reverend Deb, and it's number 140, Peace Like a River.
Our regular vocalist is sick, so please be patient with me and sing really loud, okay? Thank you. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. All right, very good. Thanks for your support.
Located on the handout and on the front cover of the hymnal are our Declaration of Principles. Please join with me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. The healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal. Please recite with me the prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Now, for those of you who would wish to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall filled with the next available healer. While the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. All right, what I would like to do this morning for our meditation is read a few excerpts from a book called The House That Joy Built by Holly Ringland. Obviously, Holly is a writer, but her book is about creativity, something all of us has, but oftentimes choose not to use. So please get comfortable, close your eyes, and listen to her words. Creativity, a vast, rich landscape, extreme landscape which we have inside ourselves. An inner country full of our daydreams, wonders, joys, longings, hopes, and pains. A place brimming with the magical quality of infinite possibilities. Somewhere we yearn for, to experience and belong to revel in, to love, like any landscape we seek in the natural world. And Mahan writes, a radiance is inside us, just as it is visible outside us, and to seek it is maybe to catch a glimpse from time to time of a light within, of a candle at the window of our heart, of a home somewhere inside. When the radiance inside each of us is neglected, our inner country goes unnourished. When we don't use our creativity, that inner place, brimming with potential, withers. This inner country of our creativity is one we innately know and frequently inhabit as children. It's an instinctive place we go to when we are young. But as we mature and become adults, many of us begin to forget or entirely lose the way to that inner land. For countless reasons, a figure or situation of power or authority in our lives causes us to doubt ourselves. We develop an inner critic. Fear takes hold. In its effort to protect us from a perceived threat, like the vulnerability of creating something, fear convinces us that creativity is a risk. We stop creating. Not creating is safe. One day, we might find we can't remember how it feels to create at all. The path to that place of magic and possibility is gone from us. Maybe we've turned our backs on it deliberately. We might have severed ourselves from that place inside and think we've made a clean getaway. We might tell ourselves that the niggle we feel in our hearts, that sense of unrest, is nothing. But like any natural landscape we love and feel we belong to, that inner country, the place where our imagination resides, will never stop calling for us to return. Unused creativity becomes a burdensome shadow we carry everywhere we go. I realized exactly what fear does to us when it's the source of our actions and beliefs, how it shrinks us and reduces us and robs us of fully living our lives. Fear is suffering little deaths constantly inside ourselves, choices we could bring to life by saying yes to, but that we say no to instead. Because possibility, for countless reasons, frightens us. So we keep ourselves closed and bound. That's what we perceive to be the safest option. How wrong we are. How dangerous is unchecked fear when it's driving our decision making. What a thief it is, robbing us of our very own lives. What would happen? I've demanded of myself out loud. If for once I did listen to the fears in my head that I've been listening to for as long as I can remember, what if fear wasn't the first thing I listened to? What if I didn't listen to all the reasons I can't do this? I take my coffee into my office, light one candle, and say a quiet prayer of thanks. I consider when I practice these rituals, and it feels mostly like they are a process akin to taking your shoes off before you enter a temple. I have learned that these are my preparation and prayers before I immerse myself in a space that is sacred, the inner country. Deeply human, timeless, connected, unknown, frightening, magical, and essential. The source that Karoyo described when he asked, "What did you do as a child that made others pass like minutes?" Herein lies the key to your earthly pursuits. 2. Identity shows the time we can decide to do to return to the heart of creativity inside ourselves. We can find the courage to cultivate that inner country, to nurture it, to grow and build a space inside of the joy it brings. Imagination is something every single one of us has, made of everything that makes us who we are. Courage, grief, vulnerability, shame, hope, love. No matter how we abandon it, how old we grow, or how far away from ourselves we drifted, our courage to create, despite all things that have stopped us, is there. Truth. It can be frightening to return to our inner country of creativity and to dare to nurture and build a place for ourselves there. At the core of so many of us is a deep craving for directions that will allow us to go back to that creative place inside. It took me years of sitting at my desk and writing by hand to find the courage to realize that the directions I needed were hidden inside a choice. Choosing the grace of giving myself permission to write was the light of the fountain, a glow in the dark guiding the way, a glow that shame, fear, and self-doubt, though they pressed in on me, could not dim. Truly, the choice to create because we love to do it is ours. The inner country of creativity and the house we build there are ours. Truth, it's always spiritual, always joyful. A light is always left on, always guiding, always waiting for us to arrive. Welcome. What should I create? The answers are as vast as an ocean, universal and individual. Simply put, creativity is present, whether we engage with it or not, in every aspect of ourselves and our lives. It's an innate part of being human. We know this as children, and often slowly forget this as we age. Nevertheless, we're creating even when we don't think we are. Even if we say we're not creative, our very beings are inundated with creativity. Within very means, constraints, and privileges, creativity is present within us every day of our lives, from how we visually and audibly express ourselves, to how we spend our spare time, show people we love them, or choose what to make for a meal, and how we decorate our homes, what gifts to give to others, or even select background wallpapers for our homes. The function of our imagination is often not conscious to us. Creativity is also all around us, in the architecture of the world, the music we listen to, the books we read, the games we play, the ever-present mind for our attention. Creativity is an outer landscape we walk through every day, as well as an inner country of our own private making. The simplest answer to my question is that we create because it's human. When we do it consciously, it's usually because we want to. Creating makes us feel good, brings us a sense of mindfulness, makes hours pass like minutes. Creativity enriches our lives. When we create and feel joy, we stir creative inspiration in other people. Like courage and fear, creativity is contagious. Maya Angelou said, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." To create is something we are born with the capacity and instinct to do. But witty creativity becomes because of fear, guilt, or shame is something we learn. So the question to ponder is, how would creativity feel to you if there was no perceived risk, threat, failure, vulnerability, or sense of shame around you? If there was no such thing as fear, what first action would you take towards answering the ideas knocking at the walls of your heart, asking to be made? If you had the setup of your dreams, a painting studio, a dance floor, a bakery kitchen, a library, an office, garden, what's the first thing you would make? Now just sit for a minute or two and see where your creativity will take you. But before you do, I would like to read two quotes. The first quote is by Simon Cowell. "You can't bring God into your creative process. God is your creative process." And quote two is by Julie Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way Every Day. When we move toward our own creativity, we move toward our Creator. When we seek to become more spiritual, we find ourselves becoming more creative. Our creativity and our spirituality are so closely interconnected, they are in effect one and the same thing. Speaking of God, we often use the words maker or creator without recognizing that those terms are for artist. God is the great artist. We are creations, and we are intended, in turn, to be creative ourselves. When you are ready, open your eyes. Here we go. All right, I would like to thank our viewers. From my left to right, we have Jackie Arnold, Darlene Hornick, Marty Hathaway, Reverend Sheldon Gamber, Daryl Lemerick, and Reverend Deborah Gamber. Thank you very much. Let's see here. If you have received healing resulting in a correction or enlightenment, please complete the yellow card in your hymnal and give it to the pastor at the back of the temple or mail the card into us. You may also place it in the collection plate. Please stand for our next hymn, number 171, Under the Guidance of Angels.
I am progressing today. Now we can stepping close in my way. Under the guidance of angels, it is sure to come. If your light like the sunflower, evening will find me at home. There will be the path, was not the dawn as I rest. Tell me the truth of the soul flame, let us arise from the dead. Under the guidance of angels, victory is sure to come. Burning our heart for the sunflowers, we go find the house. Now with the Egyptian fire, the land we fell from above. All of my innermost feelings, in those with hope and with love. Under the guidance of angels, it is sure to come. Burning the light toward the sunflowers, we will fly the arrow. Heaven is waiting for the gateway, leading to all other songs. Whether the trouble is over, into the hall. Under the guidance of angels, victory is sure to come. Burning to a light like the sunflower, we think we'll find the home. Please be seated. I think you would have done better without me on that one. Good job, everybody.
Okay. And now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Robin Matutino. Robin has been a member of the SCSCMA since 1990. She is a certified medium, healer, and teacher here at the camp. Robin's long career in project and customer management and love for the camp has been instrumental in her success as SCSCMA Administrative Assistant to the Board of Trustees. Robin is a lifelong artist. She loves animals, and she is an avid fan of backyard chicken raising. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Robin Matutino.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good to see you all here this morning. Thank you for coming out and joining us. I'd also like to thank the pastors for inviting me to share with you this morning my impressions and thoughts on the subject of what is this great awakening we're hearing about. Awakening in spirituality as it is unfolding here on planet Earth in 2024. These are my thoughts. I was recently also made aware of some statistics that I found fascinating, and it kept coming to me as I was working on this talk. And that was that in a rather large sampling of people statistically asked whether they would consider themselves spiritual or religious. And from a fairly large sampling, 80% of the people answered that they would consider themselves spiritual, but only 20% describe themselves as religious. And to me, that speaks volumes about where we are as a people, and that we're starting to remember who we are and to discover what we are within us. The Southern Cascadia Spiritualist Camp Meeting Association had its beginning 130 years ago. We're passing through our 130th year. I find that absolutely something to be proud of if you're a part of the camp. A survey clearly reveals that the population is aware of innate spirit. And so we have a long history of serving spirit here. So I welcome you here on your journeys. And what I'm sharing with you today are my truths, the things that I have found to be true as I've pursued my spiritual path. I have great respect for our history and the methods of mediumship and healing as we have discovered here since the Fox Sisters. I'm excited also to see where human consciousness and its expansion is going to take us in 2024. We're awakening to our spiritual possibilities. I know for myself, this search began in earnest in about the mid-80s, late 80s. Some of you may relate to that time frame as a time also where something was stirring within you. And when I started studying and finding out about things like trans-channeling and mediumship and spiritual development, it awakened a desire to seek out the truth of that for myself. So as many have, I began in earnest, seriously devoting efforts toward knowing myself as spirit. As spiritual seekers, we find many points of views about what is true or what is false. The differences between traditions can differ in their interpretations of what has been written down in sacred texts and writings from many cultures. It requires discernment from within us to enable us to take from those traditions that we are exposed to and leave the rest. Take what resonates with us and make it our own and leave the rest. This takes discernment. And in my opinion, one of the most beneficial things that you can develop for yourself is a sense of inner discernment about what is truth and what is not. Spiritualism, being a science, a philosophy, and a religion, provides a framework for discourse and discussion. But ultimately, does your spiritual practice bring you peace? Does it help you when you're going through times of stress and strife? And if it doesn't, then why not change it? Spiritualism proves that we can communicate with those on the other side. But what about communicating with our own soul? With that part of us that is still part of the oneness of all that is? What about communicating with that? This is how I found some things that worked for me when my goal was that kind of communication. The spiritual side of spiritualism, in my opinion, starts with a personal daily commitment to living in accordance with the principles that we're founded on. We just recited those principles together. They're not difficult, but they are a framework in which to measure your behaviors and your intent in the world. Our foundation in spiritualism and its demonstration of the continuity of life has provided an awakening, a conscious, expanding experience for many, many people since those Fox sisters came on the scene in 1848. Today, we have movies and TV shows about mediums and about psychic phenomena. You can hardly miss it now. It's a part of our culture now. And it started then. They started a movement. They started with opening a space. The evidential information of the continuation of life after so-called death is also evidence that we are not our bodies. We are internal, divine, spiritual beings. And we're choosing to have a human experience. I can only talk about this subject for so much in this time that I have, so I would like to also, when I run across, I made some notes about really good resources that if this is something that interests you and you have a desire to look further, I would recommend that you look into the works of Dolores Cannon. She's written many books. She's not a medium, she's not a channel, she's a hypnotherapist, but what has come through her patients over many, many years is amazing. And it speaks to many levels of the spirit side of life, not just those of human souls that are on the other side. There's so much more there. In my opinion, Spiritual awakening is realizing that our true divine creative nature, that is our essential being, and that is already fully awakened and whole and complete. We are already fulfilled spiritual beings. We've just come into this life and forgotten for a little while in order to experience separation. We're not our ego. The essence of our being, I believe, is love, unconditional love. Spiritual awakening is to know thyself as a soul, already perfect and complete. Remembering who we are as one with the source of all life allows for the experience right now of peace, the peace that passes understanding. It's not somewhere out there, it can be right now. Spiritualism's principle number one, we believe in infinite intelligence, and we believe that all life is the expression of that infinite intelligence, including nature. So daily, staying connected with nature is another truth that I find invaluable to remembering and reminding myself every day of the true nature of my being. Respecting all life and all creatures is part of what develops within you. When you stay close to nature, if you are not already aware, you're going within to discover your inner being through prayer and meditation. May mean looking back to remember what it is that gives your soul joy and excitement and passion. What is that for you? Because that is your spiritual quest. Your spiritual purpose for being here is reminding yourself why you came, and that's by recognizing what your passions are and what your drives are. It's important to our souls, our soul selves, to follow our inner guidance. And to do what feels good is what raises our frequency from within. There's a book I remember years ago called Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow. And it had to do with whether you're working in something that you're passionate about, or whether you're not worried about not being able to meet financial obligations. The truth is, when you're working in what gives you that passion, then the natural laws of abundance are going to work in your favor, and you won't be worrying about them. When we're born into a body as a baby or small child, so recently from the higher side, we eventually forget that fundamental truth about our being as an inner creative being, capable of creating spiritual peace and eternal bliss in our lives. We are creators of our own world, either by default or by focus and purpose. Think of a fire hose. You turn on a fire hose. If you're not controlling it, what happens? It's spraying everywhere. This massive force of water that's coming through is uncontrolled and it's going everywhere. But when you control that, then that force becomes or wields great power when that water is focused. Same with our creative abilities. When we focus every day on keeping our mind positive and in alignment with what we want rather than worrying and being fearful, it amounts to the same as, are we controlling that creativity, or Are we focusing it, or is it randomly creating a life that we're reacting to? We are infinite intelligence. In order for infinite intelligence to experience the illusion of separation, as I mentioned earlier, we pretend to be separate souls. That forgetting of our true divine nature is part of the game of life. But when we drop off our body and we return to that unlimited awareness, that eternal plane of existence reveals that we never really left. We're always connected to that boundless eternal force that we call infinite intelligence. In 1848, the Fox sisters created an awakening within the world that life is continuous, and within the time frame that they lived, that was very enlightening and awakening for the people of that time. Great strides in science and technologies have come through the inspiration of spirit. Great inventions. As a spiritualist in 2024, I see the expansion of consciousness to be an evolving part of demonstrating that continuity of life, all life, everywhere. In 2024, I believe we are awakening to our truth during some very exciting planetary configurations and energies that are pretty intense. I'm sure some of you are already, we're already in February, but I'm sure some of you are already aware. The world over, people are awakening to their truth and making the choice to serve with their light. These planets in transition are also awakening to great untruths in our history as well. Light dissolves darkness. Light is exposing deceptions that are meant to control the sheep. I'm sure you've heard that. A great awakening is occurring worldwide in every aspect of life on Earth. Every level of consciousness is expanding. If you are paying attention, you know that the media emits a lot. You have to be a researcher nowadays to find the truth, because the truth is not being given to us freely. Geologists and archaeologists are finding evidence of very, very ancient civilizations under the oceans and under the ice in Antarctica, and also in the mountains of Peru, that are rewriting, should be rewriting our history books, but they're not. There's too much at stake in the current narrative. So once again, research for yourself, because there's some really fabulous things being uncovered about our world. Also, in many remote places on planet Earth, evidence of technologies contradict many ideas that are accepted once again by the mainstream. One of those things that's fascinating, and I highly recommend that you look into this to some level, and that is what's being found about our DNA. Our DNA is being found to be an antenna that receives and transmits to the field of all possibilities. And it's constantly feeding and receiving. It's amazing. It's amazing. A very different perspective is emerging as compared to the history that has come from major religious doctrines that have shaped our culture. Many are reflecting old programming that people are beginning to reject. Again, only 20% in that survey would recognize themselves as religious. I would suggest once again, the exciting things that are happening in physics these days. There's a physicist particularly that I would recommend, Nassim Haramein, and the Resonance Project. If you want to learn about resonance within all things, and that means us. Somebody says your frequency, you know, something about your vibes. Well, that's what they're talking about. We all have our own frequency that is unique to us. It's completely unique to us. And the things that are being found out about what that means to our head and our hearts, and the intelligence within the heart, like a brain in your heart. It's incredible information that's beginning to come through. But not only that, there are methodologies and techniques for us to employ in our life right now to make things better. And one of those things is by creating a heart coherence, a heart-brain coherence. I always have to mention the Heart Math Institute because it always comes up when I'm sharing things that I'm passionate about. So look into the Heart Math Institute for the technologies that are helping us to live in a healthier, more balanced way. Major celestial transitions are underway that are affecting us all of us. If you're on this planet, you're being affected by this. A big one right now, especially if you're into astrology, is Pluto in Aquarius and what that means for us. This is something that we're going to be dealing with for the next 20 years. And it's going to be, or it's about, huge awakening in consciousness. Huge. Also, it's about revolution and communications. One could only hope for better communications between peoples. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the first instinct would be to just communicate better with people? I hope that this Pluto in Aquarius and the enhancement to our abilities to better communicate with each other is something that catches quickly, right? Astronomy, astrology, both Vedic and Western disciplines reveal clearly that 2024 is a year of major change, and it's occurring through an internal awakening of consciousness in areas of political, economic, financial, health, and within the societal communities. This change is inevitable. Look up something called the Freedom Movement in Europe. Watch that. Watch the videos that are available right now of what's happening to people all over the world. The inner work is here for all of us. We all have some inner work to do about this, but we're all in this together, and we're all learning that we are one being. An important phase of spiritual awakening is getting to know yourself and examining, for example, if the beliefs you have are serving you well. And if they're not, are they truly your beliefs? Or are they beliefs that you're carrying forward from another lifetime, or more likely from this lifetime, and those who had a hand in raising you and giving you their beliefs? Parents, grandparents, teachers, you name it, anyone who has an influence on a young mind developing is going to leave their beliefs. And that's fine, beliefs are great, everybody has them. But if what you're holding as a belief is not bringing you joy or not making your life better, you owe it to yourself to re-examine that belief and find out where it comes from. And if it's not yours, let it go. Do a ceremony, burn it, write it on a piece of paper. There's many ways to process that. But part of that looking within to know yourself is how that starts. I wanted to give a quote. There was a quote from Neil Donald Walsh when he wrote the book called Conversations with God. He was talking in the conversation to God about his imagination. And what makes, and Neil's question to God was, pardon me, how do I know that this is not just my imagination? And God's reply to Neil was, what makes you think I can't use your imagination to come through to you? And the next statement was that to imagine that there's something you don't know, and the knowing of which would change everything. 2024 is likely to reveal that kind of consciousness expanding truth. Some may be internally difficult to acknowledge, but it all needs to be healed. As eternal spiritual beings, we all have the ability to heal from the traumas and deceptions of past experiences. Learning to be attentive within to the signals and messages from the body will help us to uncover our authentic souls and the desires for the life that it wanted in this physical body. Now is time to take your power back from anything or anyone that is not in alignment with your highest good. Doing what we love is how we find our highest soul's expression in this lifetime. Her poetry was so on point, and she had no idea what I was going to speak about today. Thank you, Spirit, for that. Science is an important aspect of spiritualism, and it's believed that it's in the testing of the information that's received by spirit that we prove the truth of its existence. So committing to regularly sitting in meditation and prayer in a sacred space of your own creation, to communicate with your guides and angels raises your frequency, your vibrational frequency, and it strengthens your overall sense of wellness. Spiritual awareness equals practicing living in accordance with natural law. With practice, your higher frequency naturally then acts somewhat like a repellent of lower frequencies. You don't have to worry about how do I protect myself. Just be that higher being that you can be, and you don't worry about that. Those energies don't come near you. Developing our ability to raise our vibration helps us to be able to radiate frequency, and that acts also like a shield or blocking of lower energies or entities, if that's something you're concerned about. But it is making for a much less chaotic environment and a more peace-filled life. When we begin to recognize that we're all created as unique frequencies, then it makes sense that sound is healing or tuning our frequency. There are new tools being developed in healing and that are being revealed that are working with the frequency of our DNA, thought to be the imprint of our perfect health. The imprint of our perfect body is in our DNA. And technologies are beginning to match that pattern to your body and retuning it back to perfect health. These technologies are coming out. Spiritual awakening includes getting to know our energy body, the chakra centers, and the internal visioning of wellness. Spiritualism doesn't necessarily support this understanding, but consciousness is expanding. Knowing ourselves as powerful, creative, energetic beings, and then joining together with other powerful, energetic beings doing the same kind of inner work has the power to create a loving and abundant world that we all want to live in. We get to choose. Visioning unity in our community will certainly demonstrate that together we have the power to create peace on earth. In 2024, Every single one of us will be faced with an inner choice. And that choice is, do we want to be guided by fear and seek to be ruled over? Or do we want to be guided by love and seek to be free? Together we are creating heaven on earth. And together we are the force. When one is following a spiritual path, daily prayer and meditation is an important practice for all of us, especially when we need help keeping the balance and maintaining a stable mental and emotional body. Living in this information age can be very intense on every level. So much information is coming to us to digest at once. We're all multi-dimensional beings, and caring for all levels of oneself, body, mind, and spirit, is vital if we expect to withstand this incoming transformation of energies that we're living through in 2024. We live in a dualistic world. This world is, the nature of this world is of opposite polarities, and we're finding a balance somewhere in between, and it can be intense. Developing discernment is a big key for awakening to our inner guidance. Everybody has this ability. Spiritual awakening is recognizing and trusting that inner feeling that we get when something just does not add up. And in any situation, that's your inner guidance prompting you to take another look. Be careful. Consider. We're living through a time of facing some denied truths together as the world's people. In 2024, it's going to bring awareness to deception that we're witnessing unfolding in the outer world. By developing that inner level of discernment that we trust is very necessary, where it's nearly impossible today to tell the truth of a situation from an untruth. We're being exposed to fake news, deep fake photos, CGI lies, and deception from some level has been occurring for centuries. This is not new. But in 2024, that may be where this changes. Spiritual awakening allows us to finally remember that we were born sovereign souls, and that those who have sought to suppress, control, or deny this for centuries will be justly dealt with by the consciousness power of inner awakening of the world's people that I believe will simply no longer comply. Remembering that infinite intelligence is within all beings develops our inner light of consciousness. Our truth is our essential being is already perfect, whole, and complete, and making a practice of inner remembering that infinite truth and infinite gratitude for what life brings, inner healing, and then our circumstances begin to reflect that change as positive reflection. Pure love is our true nature. All is divine. And when we know that we are all one, that unity of thought creates more kindness, more compassion, more tolerance, and more empathy for all. Consciousness is fundamental and the ultimate reality. Our essential self is consciousness. Awareness or awakening is realizing that we are not the ego character playing in this world. We are not the little self. We are the one. In 2024, we are recognizing or recognizing or relearning that we are all one. The camp and spiritualism hold space for new discoveries and discussions on emerging science. And group consciousness focused for the good of all can create miracles. And the science has measured it, the results have been demonstrated, that when a group focuses together, there is nothing that cannot be healed. Casadega offers many classes and workshops that seek to teach people how to receive this healing and how to receive messages from the spirit world. There are many great teachers and resources on this subject, and I ask that each of you explore your own best path. Find what resonates to you and practice that. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts and my aspirations for living in a spiritually aware life in 2024. I hope you find a circle of others to sit with to amplify your light in the world because it needs it. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day here in Casadega, and I thank you for your kind attention.
All right, now since I created a mess and I wasn't here, I have to get my paperwork in order. All right, during our musical interlude, we will be passing the basket. We thank you in advance for your generosity.
Light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right. Good job, everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Day. All right, please take an attitude of prayer. We give thanks for the generosity of those here today and for the gifts received. Amen. Now, a few announcements. Next Wednesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, our message bearers will be our students. It's Students' Night. Yay! It's student nights at our Wednesday evening message service, and all are welcome. Next Sunday, February 18th, our guest speaker at our 10:30 service is Reverend Dr. Sheldon Ganberg. Every Sunday, we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Adult Sunday School, from 9:30 to 10:15 a.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. Next Sunday, February 18th, our Lyceum speaker is Joyce Sauter. This afternoon, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Colin Hall will be doing a mediumship and spiritual art workshop in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. This is suitable for students of all levels, and please bring art paper and colored pencils with you. Next Saturday, Reverend Diane Davis will be doing a workshop from her natural law series from 1:30 to 3:30 in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. Also, we continue to accept donations for a new sound system here in Colby Temple. The one we have is very, very old, and we desperately need an upgrade. There is a jar in the back by the door for donations. We thank you for that in advance also. To participate in absentee healing, please print the name and first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, or even a pet in our healing book at the left corner of our Colby Temple. Just write that there. Every Thursday morning, we have our healing meditation circle at 11 a.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, where all the names on the healing list are held in prayer. All are welcome to attend. Flyers for camp events are in the back of the temple. We have an activities calendar and a church bulletin in your hymnal for you to take home or give to a friend. They look like this. Our website, pasadena.org, also has the monthly information as well as upcoming, monthly information as well as other upcoming events. And now, let's see, the message portion of our service, and we would like to bring Rob Matutino back up.
Hello again. If I come to you, I'd like to come to the lady in the turquoise dress. Yes, may I hear your name?
Martha Jess.
Martha Jess. Martha, I'm aware of a woman in the spirit side of her life with you. She stands very closely. I feel like I'm with a grandmother spirit. Someone who was instrumental in your life in your early caring, comes through with a lot of love. She's very happy to see you here. She's very happy that your mind is open to communication with her. She's around you a lot, and if you'll pay attention, she's trying to let you see evidence of that. I get the sense of perhaps when you're at home, you may find something move a bit, some kind of phenomenon around you that she would like to bring to your attention. I also feel like she's a little bit of a playful person. She had a good sense of humor. She liked to make people laugh because she understood that laugh raised them up. And so she comes through with a lot of that humor. She says you have that kind of sense of humor, that's appreciated. So laugh whenever you can. This lady was, I have a sense that she was somewhat of a teacher, if not formally, that she shared a lot of the things that she knew. She was a very wise woman. And I would say that she would be a lovely spirit guide for you. And so I also feel like you can hear in your psychic hearing her talking to you, and you may try writing down some notes. You'll be surprised what comes through now. And I'm going to leave that with God's blessings. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, come to the lady right here with black and white. You have yes. Did I hear your first name? Joan. Joan, as I step in with you, I feel like you have a round of spirits that are very jovial and very upbeat, and much is the same, that there's this quality of making other people laugh or bringing out humor and things that I feel continuing here with you. I also feel there's a gentleman in spirit around you that was very protective of you as a younger person. I feel like this may be a father or someone that you consider like a father figure. I want you to know that he knows, or he wants you to know that he's often with you. He presents a rather guardian angel type energy around you. He makes certain he watches that, trouble keeps away. He comes through with also a lot of love and a lot of acknowledgement for what you've accomplished. He wants to bring congratulations to you about a goal recently met. Spirit's very, very proud of you on the other side. I also feel they want to bring out some sort of an anniversary that may be coming soon, and to let you know that they're all there. They'll all be there. You have a lot of love around you, and I want to leave that with God's blessings. Thank you very much. So let me come over here. Oh my. May I come to the lady? You have sunglasses on top of your head. Yes, may I come to you? Can I hear your name? Janessa? Beautiful. As I touch in with you, Janessa, I feel that there's a gentleman in spirit around you that when he was alive, he was very black and white. He is wrong or it's not, or it's this or it's not. Rather severe in his opinions of things. And he comes in around you with a lot of love, but also to say, I've changed a bit. I've softened a bit. I see things more in a nuanced way than I did when I was alive. He was rather opinionated, it would appear. He comes through, I get the sense of him in some sort of a service uniform. He identifies himself that way. Once again, I feel there's a lot of guardian energy around this as well. You have a lot of male energy around you in the spirit world. I feel like brotherly energy as well. People who you may consider in that regard. I'm feeling an R for the name Robert with you as well. There's a lot of love coming from spirit for you. They would also like, I feel like there's this yippee quality with some of them about the fact that you're here today. And the fact that you're beginning to do this discourse is the word that I'm hearing. I'm gonna leave that with God's blessings. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, Robin. All right. We would like to remind everyone that we will have our afternoon message service 12 to 12:30 right here in Colby Temple. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings to as many individuals as they can reach during this message service. Everyone is welcome. We also encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open 11:30 to 5 p.m. today and open Monday through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, if you please rise for our closing hymn, number 203, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and remain standing for our closing prayer.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, joyful in all our being. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let things begin with me. Let it be the moment now. Every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
All right, this happens to be an Apache lesson. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rains wash away your worries, and the breeze blow new strength into your being. And all the days of your life, may you walk gently through the world and know its beauty. Have a wonderful rest of the day and go home and create.